Sunday, my friends. Good morning. Let's take a deep breath together. So, I wanted to make this video for when you feel overwhelmed, and I actually did make the video, but I didn't realize the audio quality was so bad. I think I had the phone right next to my AC in the car, so all you heard was wind. So I'm re-recording this, and that's actually perfect because I was trying to explain an example, and because I'm in my home today, I can use prompts. So this is perfect. So that video was a riff off my other video called Emotions Are Real. And okay, now that you're at the point where you know how to validate your own emotions and that your emotions are real, what do you do with them? You know, what can you do when you feel overwhelmed? And my best advice that I can give you is to take a deep breath. Now let's take one together. Wait, I might sneeze. It didn't happen. Okay, let's just take a deep breath together. And for me, when I take a deep breath, it's a reminder to clear my thoughts, to be present in the moment, and to let go of whatever I've been thinking of and what I feel overwhelmed by. So when you're feeling a lot of emotions, you know, in my last video, I talked about how the emotions and the logical side of your brain, they're in different parts of the brain. So when your emotions are running very high, the ability to articulate your emotions, that side of the brain is running a little lower, right? So taking a deep breath and taking a step back, it just allows you to come back to yourself, you know, and not react to whatever is going on. Whenever I start, instead of responding, reacting to the situation, it takes my emotions from here and it brings them up higher. So it accelerates however I'm feeling. It makes their frequency higher. But taking a step back and taking a deep breath reminds yourself, it helps remind me to get back into my body and places the control back in my hands. Now, in yoga, we have this breath that I wanted to show you guys. It's called the lion's breath, and you take a deep breath like this, and then you go like, and you make like a funny face, and you stick your tongue out. Now, obviously, you can't do this when you're having an emotional conversation with someone, but it's something that you can practice if you are feeling overwhelmed. Now, what happens if you are in a conversation with someone and your emotions are just running higher and higher and you're getting more and more emotional? Well, it's okay to take a step back from the conversation and ask the other person, well, no, don't ask, just tell the other person, hey, I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now. I would like to take a step back from this conversation. And it's helpful if you are doing that to give them a timeline, like, hey, can I just take a step back for like an hour? I just need to organize my thoughts, or I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Do you mind if we, revisit this in the afternoon? Obviously, you're probably having a conversation with a loved one, or else you would not be so emotional. But it's okay to take a step back to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just need some time to myself. Can I take an hour? And take care of yourself during those difficult conversations. And just remind yourself that it's okay. And that part of that is regulating your emotions, regulating your breath, and regulating how you feel. Okay, so I wanted to talk about why you feel overwhelmed and why maybe you're feeling emotional, or you start reacting instead of responding. So maybe not the emotional part, but why are you reacting instead of responding, and why are you feeling overwhelmed? Well, think about it this way. So I have this cup here. Think of yourself like this cup, right? And whenever you go throughout your day, you start taking on some things. For example, maybe there's traffic in the morning, right? So that fills up your cup a little bit with stuff. Maybe in the morning you're running late and your alarm didn't go off, and that fills up your cup a little more with things, right? So throughout the day, your cup gets filled up little by little, just by like little things that happen. It doesn't even have to be anything big, just by little things that happen. And at some point, those little things can add up and fill to the very top, right? And when it gets to the top, you know what happens when a cup fills up with water. The water starts to spill over. And that's when you start feeling overwhelmed, when you start reacting. Someone will ask you a question, you're like, I don't know. Even though you do know the answer, you probably just needed to take a moment to think about it. And so how do you empty your cup when it's full? How do you empty it? It's by taking that deep breath, and it's by realizing you're taking on a lot of stress, and maybe some of this stress isn't yours. Maybe it's just stuff that you picked out throughout the day. So just taking some time to yourself, going back to your body and thinking, what can I control? What can I do in this situation? And if you're not able to do anything, then let that thing go. And then, okay, so that's what happens throughout the day. But what happens if you wake up and it's the first thing you do is you feel overwhelmed? Well, it's probably because you woke up and your cup was already full from the day before, or maybe weeks before, or months before. You weren't able to empty your cup. Something that helps empty the cup is, when you go to sleep, it helps. The weekends help empty your cup. Just taking some time away from work or whatever's been stressing you helps empty your cup. So if you are waking up and your cup is already filled, then you need to take some time to relax and de-stress. And you have to find what works for you. So what works for me is I like doing yoga, I like reading. What works for me is doing that breath work helps me in that moment, because I'm not able to take an 8-hour sleep when my cup's full, like right then, and someone asks me a question. No, just taking that deep breath in that moment helps me. And then I just also do things for fun, like I told you guys, I dance, I move around. Some people like to work out. It's really good for de-stressing because you're moving your body, and because stress is something that, you know, it's like you're fighting something, but you have nothing to fight. So sometimes working out can help. So find something that helps you relax and helps you empty your cup at the end of the day or on the weekends. And when you do feel overwhelmed in that moment, remember that it's okay to take a step back and say, hey, can we revisit this conversation? Or, you know, in that moment, just take a deep breath wherever you are. I would say you don't even have to be having a difficult conversation. You can just be feeling overwhelmed in a sort. But just remember to take that deep breath. Okay, I hope to see you guys later. And I hope you have a wonderful day.